If you think you've been waiting on it, we've been waiting on it. Where's breaking news? And finally, John Heyman, breaking news, Blake Snell in the fold. Again, it was a mercurial free agent class. I don't think it was as much financial as it was performance-based. But Blake Snell, Jordan Montgomery, Matt Chapman, all out there for a long period of time. And then this breaks late last night. Blake Snell to the Giants, $62 million, 2 years with the opt-out. So actually, he's getting $15 million this year, a $17 million bonus payable in 2026. Cliff, tax ramifications, and then a $30 million player option next year. Either way, so its AAV is $31 million. So he's the highest paid Giant. Like when all is said and done, Yonder, your thoughts on the deal?
He's the highest paid. I think it makes a little bit of sense given that it's a short term. I just think for a player who wins a Cy Young, obviously you're looking for a longer deal. But look, I think if you're betting on yourself and you understand that you're going to a good ballpark, that it's a really friendly pitcher ballpark. I mean, that's just the ideal place if you want to be a pitcher, if you want to kind of go again and prove to people that you can go longer into games. I just think for me, when I look at this whole situation, I mean, this is a team that now they got Chapman, Soler, and himself and Blake Snell. What an incredible move. I mean, this guy, they have done an incredible signings.
It was a late surge, no doubt. And Chapman is high quality. So is Snell, although I say mercurial because he's got 2 fabulous years, bookending 4 mediocre to good years in the middle. And yet, I don't know, Cliff, this kind of changed, for me, it changes the equation as for who the Giants are and where they are, like in the balance of power. In the National League, there's going to be some wild card spots that are for the taking.
Right. And if you're the Giants, you got to believe what you spent before you got Blake Snell are smart investments for your team. And to make your investments look good, you got to go out and explore other options. Blake Snell was still there. So you have to go out there and explore what is it going to take if we can get him. And we just saw a board of one. Those are first in the league. Now, you look at the walks and you go, maybe that was atrocious, right? But I think that one category helped Blake Snell. Why did it help him? Because we talked about it last year. We talked about it on your show, BK, and we talked about it basically at the point of understanding that who he is he's not going to give in. He's going to say, hey, look, you know, Yonder, I can't get you out. I'm walking you. And I'm okay with it. If you know your lane, you stay in that lane, you understand who you are, then you take care and perfect the other things you're good at. You're not good at being in situations where you're 3-2, giving up a cookie and getting out. But what you are good at is this right here. You can get your out pitch. He found that. His fastball had late life. He did some really good things. If I was him, I wouldn't have waited this long, to get, to camp and sign a contract. But I have to say I'm worth what I'm worth. And when you look at this list right here, I mean, he's right there in the middle.
I don't know. I mean, first of all, if you guys saw that clip, it was Gary Sanchez behind the plate. If I'm the Giants, I'm trying to trade for Gary Sanchez in a heartbeat. Because after Gary Sanchez got traded over to San Diego, Blake Snell was a different guy. He really was. He was
what
unbelievable.
Makes you think gets him there?
I just think for me, when I look at Blake, it's not that he's got the stuff to not have to go 3-2. He's got the stuff not to throw 90 pitches in 4 1/3. Like, he's really got the stuff. So when I look at this roster and I say, are they better than the Diamondbacks? I don't think so. Are they better than the Padres? I don't think so. Are they better than the Dodgers? Definitely a no. So what's that move like? Yeah, for him, it makes sense on a short-term deal. He's got an opt-out. He can do his thing. But when you talk about what he did for the team, he crushes your starting pitching. Because if you go 4 1/3, the next day and the following day, you're putting a lot of pressure on that starting rotation.
Yonder,
because they got to go deeper into games.
He did 180 innings last year. Like, it's not like he doesn't pitch. He'll go 6 and give up 1. He did that a lot.
Yeah, no.
He did it for 5 months last year.
What I'm saying is,
he can go 4 1/3, and then he'll go 7, and then he'll go 3.
You don't want to Cy Young.
What's going on here?
You don't want to Cy Young.
You do if he's got a 2.
Well, he has to pitch more than 4 innings a game. Like BK said, he won 180 innings. But my point of it is, you just mentioned 3 teams that's better, in your opinion, that's better than the Giants, right? And what I say is, if you want to contend and compete, you don't worry about the teams ahead of you. Just go out there. Now you made your team that much better. Your rotation is better.
They are better.
Your team, you understand what Chapman is. So if you playing with pitching and defense, this speaks to taking the pressure off Kyle Harrison. It speaks to taking pressure off Jordan Hicks, who you signed, Keaton Winn. You're looking for length. You're looking for guys that give you an opportunity to go out there. You need, at some point, all these guys going to be counted on this year. I'm talking about the youngsters. You know Logan Webb and Blake Snell, who they are. Jordan Hicks, you got to protect them. You don't know what Jordan Hicks is going to be.
Do we know? I think the only person the guy that we know that's going to be a stud is Webb. I think for him, Webb is that dude. He's got that.
Well, I'll put it this way: in my top 10 right now, starting pitching, the Giants now have 2 of the top 5. I had Webb number 2, I had Snell number 5. So that's quality.
And I can't knock that.
I think they went from. If you think the Giants and the Pacoda projections have the Giants around 80, 82 wins. I think the addition of Chapman and Snell puts them in wild card contention. You go from mediocre to good to near good. I think it's a big move, Leandro. I guess we're in disagreement. I think the dual aspect of both of those guys makes them a wild card contender.
There's a lot of question marks on Chapman. There's a lot of question marks on Soler. Nick Ahmed is playing shortstop. What's this team? Like, what's
Did you
the
see those
identity
standings that just put up on the board?
Yeah, I saw the standings.
Oh, so that don't mean nothing to you? they were right there without the.
Everybody's a winner March 9th.
I know, look, I'm not knocking your hustle. All I'm saying is the only knock on this deal, I would say, is when does he come? Like, how does he get?
It's late already.
Which is the only knock to getting a guy, because the pressure then is rising on Blake Snell to be who you need him to be in May, if that's when he comes, right? Like, if you're going to look at these guys, spring training is so big for pitchers, hence why they get there early. They get there before hitters, and then they face us as soon as we get there as hitters. So there's something behind the mindset of getting guys in and getting a feel of the baseball and getting a feel of everything.
He's late.
This is going to be really late, but you know what? Well, you can't rush him, because then this 2-year 62 becomes, when you're paying $31 million for a guy that might not be
and to his credit, he was there in spring training all of last year. He didn't get off to a great start in April. So now you're kind of like, all right, let's not really rush him, because we need this guy in May, June, July.
Right, and those 5 months, by the way, Yonder, he had like a 1.2 ERA. Like you're missing he had a sensational season last year.
Yeah,
he's up and down. When he's up, it's there.
He was 4 2/3, 5 1/3.
I think this makes them better than the Padres. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying this makes them push the Diamondbacks and puts them above the Padres, because they're all close.
Really
Dodgers
close.
are gone, but I think it's going to be close. And I applaud them for being opportunistic, because I loved all these players, but not at the prices that were being bandied about. And now, hey, Cody Bellinger is the highest paid Cub. Blake Snell is the highest paid AAV-wise San Francisco Giant. They didn't lose. They got, you know what I'm saying, Cliff? They got paid. They just didn't get the bonanza of the $200, $300 million deal.
Well, I guess you have to wonder if that's where we're going as a whole, with the league, right? Because
short-term, high money.
Short-term, I give you, the big AAV, but we're not going to give you the 6 years and 7 years anymore. I don't know. I just think for us as players, when you get the luxury of getting the red carpet and being able to go showcase, and walk around different cities, that's the best. When you don't get that luxury, it knocks what you've done.
Cliff, if you come in like Freddie Freeman hit the free agent market saying, hey,
perfectly,
take a look at my 7 previous years. They're all great. And now I'm going to do it again. Like Blake Snell couldn't say that. Jorge Soler couldn't quite say that. Cody Bellinger couldn't say that. They didn't have the consistency.
For the sake of Blake Snell, though, it's hard to win a Cy Young and have to go prove yourself the next year. Like, I remember coming up as a rookie, everybody used to tell me, there's nothing better than becoming a free agent. You're here to walk. So you can go see what's out there.
Right.
It's becoming the opposite. I actually want to be in arbitration and not in free agency, because I know at least I'm secure.
No, that's what I'm saying. Look,
that's what it feels like.
He got $30 million a year.
I know. It's
right.
2 years. I wish he would have gotten 6 years.
Well, you would have given it to him as a GM. If you're in the GM seat, you'd give it to him.
Heck no, he ain't give it to him. He told me.